I'm going to talk about logistics or some logistics of running a small business. But first of all, I just want to share with you how I've made a dent in the CD stacks or boxes. I mentioned before that I emptied out a Gaylord or a pallet of only CDs, and I managed to get through a tub a tub, a bin, a box, and then another box on top of this one. And this is what I have left over here. I scanned the smaller stack there. I still have to scan those through Amazon to get an idea of if anything in there is going for better money. And then I'm done. Well, then I have to organize them, but sort them for the store or anything I'm gonna sell in the store or sell online. And yeah, and then I'm done with those. So there's still quite a lot to go, of course. There's all of these boxes. 5 here and 4 there, so there's still 9 boxes to go, but I made a dent. And my stack here and my tall one is all the different genres of music that's going in my store, and then that one down there is more popular artists and groups, that kind of thing, that go into the other side where my CDs are. So that's a side note. But logistics, there's a lot of logistical things when you're running a small business that I'm finding out about. So for instance, what I want to talk about is taking payments. When I first opened this space, it's so packed with inventory now. But when I first opened it, because there's a roll-up door there, and there's a normal door over there, and my first sale, I rolled the door up, and I had the tables here in kind of a semicircle around I believe I only had CDs and DVDs. I know I had CDs and DVDs, but I don't know if I had anything else. I may have had some books, but not that many. I still didn't have video games. I didn't have records. So I was growing into it. That was my first sale. It was just one day, probably like a Saturday in 2000. When was it? 2019. And then from there, I slowly started to grow into the space. But when I first started, I was just taking cash. And then over time, as I started holding more sales, I started using Square, which you're probably familiar with. If you're not, Square is a point of sale software that you can use with just your phone or an iPad. I started with just my phone. It was totally fine. I got one of these little readers here. So you just plug it into your phone, and there you can, on the end here, you can slide cards through. And of course, you can process cash payments as well. But it's a great way to not only take cards, but to track your sales, so you can know, of course, how much you sold, what types of items you're selling. You can create a library of different items. Like I have books, everything, right? I've got records, all that stuff. So CDs, video games, all in the database there. So when I ring it up, and when I go back and look at it, I can see what's selling most. Am I most selling CDs? Am I most selling records? What's going on? So that's been helpful. But I was just using my phone for a very long time, and then when I got my phone, right, just using the internet access, the data plan through my phone, and then the reason that I was going to say upgraded, but the reason that I changed, I guess you could say it's an upgrade, to an iPad, to that one, is because I hired somebody to work here, and I ended up hiring a couple of people. I've had 4 different people work in this store serving customers, and I have someone that works on some Saturdays when I need help. But aside from that, just me here. And I had to, well, I don't have it here, but I had to get, normally I have my little internet hub plugged in there up on the crate. But this is where the logistical, hurdles come in. I got that so I could use the iPad, and then the people that I had in here could use, or the workers I had could use the iPad, which worked out fine. And now, so we had to get a different reader because the connection for the iPad is different than for my phone, because I have an Android Galaxy I had an older phone before, older Galaxy, but now I have a Galaxy S20, but I had like an I don't know, something 10 or whatever. It was a much older, but it worked fine with Square. But then having to have someone else work here, had to get an iPad and internet access, so I had to pay for that. Buy the iPad, of course, have the internet access, pay for that each month. And now, though, my whole point is now that I've opened the second location, I need internet access in both locations. So when I'm here in my first store here, the warehouse / store, retail store, I can just use my phone, and the internet hub that we have can just be used at the other location, which is what we're doing right now. However, when I have someone here, like on a certain Saturdays working, I need access in both locations. So it becomes a little more of a challenge. And of course, going forward, you want to try to save money as much as you can, but at the same time, you don't want to limit yourself in what you can do. So you got to invest in the business, and in the sense of I'm going to have to end up getting internet access in both locations separate, so that what do you call it? Yeah, so that they have their separate access, and we don't have to be. I have to be literally bringing the internet hub back and forth, which was what I did today. I had it yesterday, but then today I had to. My wife picked it up and brought it down there so that our worker can use it and she can use it, and then tomorrow she'll be using it as well, and I'll use my phone here. So that's kind of the hurdles you have to get over. It's not that big a deal. It's just you got to put out a little more money, and also what we had to do today is go and get a adapter, which is this whole thing. Whoops, this whole thing. You can take out. See, it's got this one. This headphone jack is what they call it. And so now we had to get this adapter from Best Buy so that we could connect the right connection for my Android phone with this connection on the end, so that now I can have I can take credit cards without having to do it manually, because I was doing it manually for a couple of weeks when I didn't have the internet, because I didn't have the correct Square reader. Anyway, so I don't know if that's interesting, but it's just something that's realistic, and something that you have to deal with. It's not a big deal, just had to get the adapter. But now it works great. Now I don't have to deal with doing it manually, which you can do through Square. You can do it manually, and probably other, I don't know what they're called. What the other one's called? Is it Chime or something? There's another one. Probably a couple different ones that take payments. And so it makes it easier. You can do it manually, but that just takes a little bit longer. It's a little bit of a pain instead of just sliding the card and it's done. And I don't even have the tap. You can buy one of the Square readers where they can tap it, but there's just no need for it. There's no need to spend that extra money. Why spend the extra money when sliding the card is fine? Also, we don't take Apple Pay, that kind of stuff. People do ask, but it's a small percentage of people that ask. It's usually younger people, under 30, under 25, that kind of thing. So yeah, most people have cards. I take cash here. We're only taking cards at the second location. No cash. So yeah, that's what we're doing. That's just a little something that just popped up recently. And we also had to get another iPad for the other location, but we're putting our Instagram account on that iPad so that it can be accessed there. We can post new content, new information of, new inventory and anything going on, which is what we're doing, and reels and posts and story, what do you call them? Stories and all that stuff. So that's worked out well. And, it's part of business. You have to, in the sense of invest in it, in the sense of have the right equipment or the right tools, because spend a couple $100 on an iPad, but then, potentially have it for years. I've had that one for a couple of years already, and I just keep it here. I don't bring it home and use it for anything else. So it should last a long time, as long as we have a case on it, as long as it doesn't get broken or anything. Knock on wood. So yeah, that's kind of stuff that when you have any business, of course, but a retail business is you've got to duplicate it, in the sense of you got to have the internet, you got to have some way of taking payment that is not relying on a worker's cell phone. You shouldn't do that. So that's where we are with that. Side note, today it did not rain. Yesterday it did, although it started to drizzle here at the end. So I had to bring everything in. You know, the two Gaylords of CDs will not enjoy the rain for sure. Not be a good thing. Today was a little slow in the morning, and then it picked up in the afternoon, so that was good. I have not seen how my second location is doing today. I'll take a look later, but hopefully it's doing well. So today, which I'll make another video about probably, if not one video about both of them. Today I'm going to go make a pickup from that same location of books, about 5 boxes, and then tomorrow morning at 10, I'm picking up another, I don't know, 4 or 5 boxes of books. He said there was around 200 books. And that was a person that called me because they found me on my website online when they looked for, you know, free. I don't know if exactly what they looked for, searched for, but they found me in my service to pick up books for free. So put yourself out there, spread the word, let people know what you do, and people will find you. All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Take care.